Today I'm going to show you how to thread the Janome model 6125 Quilter's Companion machine. You lift the lid and you've got all these fancy looking parts. It's not as hard as it looks. First you're going to take this thread stopper off of the thread spindle, and you're going to insert the spool of thread onto the thread spindle, and sometimes the paper comes off. That's fine. You want the thread to feed towards you from underneath. Put that thread stopper back on the machine, and then you're going to come underneath this little thread guide here, underneath this little plastic mechanism. It lifts up and it will come around behind this and kind of in that little crevice right there underneath there. And you're going to take your bobbin and you want the thread to come through the hole coming out the top. Of course, now it's not going to cooperate. You may need to, sometimes you need to trim off so it's a little bit firmer. The tip, get that out of there. Throw it on the floor. There we go. So it's going to come out the top. Then place your bobbin on the bobbin spindle, and you're going to hold the excess up. You want to press the bobbin over and engage it that way, and then you're going to hold on to this end of the thread as you wind the thread onto the bobbin. So I'm going to switch hands and show you how it goes that way. You can stop. I'm pressing the foot pedal to make it have electricity. Trim that little thread off, and the thread will wind onto the bottom, onto the bobbin in a fairly even manner most times. You just kind of watch it, make sure that it's doing that there's no big loops or anything like that. And that's how you do it. Okay, about a minute went by and I threaded all the thread that the bobbin can hold, and it stopped itself when it reached capacity. So now you can take your scissors and cut the thread. You're going to want to pop this back over and remove the bobbin from the bobbin spindle. The bobbin fits down at the base of the machine, and you can see right here it shows you exactly how to place the bobbin in the bobbin mechanism with this little picture on the plate. And that's one of the things I love about this model Janome. It shows you everything on there. It's like sewing for dummies. So it really helps if you've forgotten how to do it, if you haven't sewn on it for a few months or whatever. It helps to refresh your memory. Alright, so you remove that clear plastic plate, and you put the bobbin with the thread coming from the counterclockwise position. So it's coming from the left. You just place it in there and you'll pull it forward, and then there's a little thread guide there also, and you slide it underneath that. Can you see that? And then it comes back like this. The thread will just guide it back across the needle plate. Alright, and so that's in place. Slip that in, and then you're ready as soon as you've gotten the machine threaded, which I'm fixing to show you, and I will show you how to pull that bobbin thread up. Alright, let's come back up to the top. We'll take the thread off of these mechanisms for threading the bobbin. You can leave it here, right here. It's still going to feed from behind up below, and instead of going around the front of this little guide, it's going to come back from the back. It will slide down this slot right there. You can see this is the second step. You'll come up through this thread guide, and this thing, I don't know if you can show it over here. It kind of looks like a rabbit. And you slide the thread forward, and it has to come through that little hole. Come back down that same thread guide, pull your thread, and you're going to run it back behind there. You've got all these little thread guides to make sure that you thread it right. And then I'm going to make sure that my needle is at the highest position And let's see if we can get the automatic threader to work. You don't always get lucky, sometimes you do. So when you pull this automatic thread mechanism down, it protrudes this tiny metal filament or wire through the eye of the needle that catches the thread and theoretically pulls it through the eye. So yes, it worked. Sometimes you get lucky. So you have to remove it from there and just pull the thread through the needle. It threads from the front to the back. And so now I've got my needle and my machine all threaded up, and now I'm ready to bring up the bobbin thread through the hole in the needle plate. And I will use a pin to show you. See, the bobbin is going to pull the thread up from this hole right there, and you don't want to put anything in there. I'm just using the pin to show you where the hole is. Anything you put in your machine or slips in there, even threads, will jam up your machine, and then we'll have to stop and take the whole thing apart. Alright, over here on the side of your machine is a wheel that I can turn with my hand towards me, and that makes these feed dogs move, and that's what helps the fabric move through if you want to get started. Okay, so I'm going to turn the wheel towards me, which guides the needle down. It's going down into that hole in the thread plate. I'm holding my needle thread out to the left, and you're going to see the bobbin spin in just a second. There comes the thread. It's grabbing the bobbin thread, the needle thread is, and I'm going to pull it up through that hole. And so now I've got my bobbin thread up and my needle thread, and I'm going to hold them down and guide them back off to the right hand side. And I'm ready to sew. And that's how easy it is. It takes about 2 minutes.